Here we go. Let's load it up. Let's start this broadcast off right. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Precision Racing League's American PS4 ProjCars2 GT3 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitch land, you know me as Old Man Hoot. Tonight, we start the second half of season number 10. 6 races in, 5 drivers still fighting for the championship. Normally around this time, you start seeing a separation. Maybe it's just 2 guys starting to break away, maybe a third. Not this season. We still have 5 guys ready to duke it out the final 6 races. And what better way to kick it off? We're going back to a track where it's been many seasons that these gentlemen have seen. We are at Sonoma. What's going to make tonight special, though, is last time we were here back in Season 6, a race where maybe a certain handsome commentator made his GT3 debut. We did the GP layout. That's normally where you're hooking through the inside and you're racing up the drag strip into a tight hair section towards the end of Sector 2. Not this time. We're going fast. We're cutting around it. We're adding 2 really great right-handers to present passing opportunities. And we're going to have a blast tonight. This is what is known as the NASCAR layout of Sonoma. So it's going to be really action-packed tonight. I'm personally excited for it. So before we go ahead and break down the championship to date, let's do a run. Now, every week we normally hop in for the gentleman who sponsored this specific racetrack. Mac Attack, our defending champion, who unfortunately had to step away for personal reasons, sponsored this race. So what we're going to jump in with K-Dog, number 2 in the points. He's going to take us around Sonoma. There you go. There's turns 1 and 2. You're going across the start-finish line 120 miles an hour into a really tight section. Same thing. Now 3 and 4, another S. Uphill. You're going to see this a lot tonight at Sonoma. Elevation changes. Here's the NASCAR section we were talking about. Very fast right-hander. You could try to outbrake people going in. Really, it's about exit speed and setting it up here. This second right-hander, where it's really hard brake. If you're going to get the pass, you have to get it ASAP, because here comes back-to-back S's. It's going to be really tempting to want to push, but as you can see K-Dog really working the wheel here. You go in too fast, you're screwing up the whole sector. So patience is going to be key tonight. Exiting the S's, you got the very fast right-hander. You're going to gun it. Again, 130 miles an hour, slamming on the brakes all the way down to first gear. K-Dog went a little too deep, but all the way down to 35 miles an hour, you're stomping back on it. Coming out of that hairpin, you want to be careful about acceleration. You will spin those tires. And there you go. You're stomping on it. You're turning to the left 2 more times. K-Dog just crossed the start-finish line. As you see, this is a very, very fast layout of Sonoma. Tonight, we are going to do 37 laps. As you're already seeing, a minute 11 up top. It's going to be insane. Oh, and K-Dog is almost a half second up on his time. And as you see, here's another tricky thing about Sonoma. It is pretty difficult to pass at. Traffic is going to be a major factor. K-Dog is absolutely wheeling it. He's got Bubba in front of him. 2 are the NASCAR guys who know this layout extremely well. K-Dog still 3/10 up on his lap. but he still has a hell of a lot better time left in him. Alright, as K-Dog... Whoa, as K-Dog and Bubba both have issues there. Still plenty of time left, though. Like we talked about, you're a minute 11 to minute 12 laps. There's 10 minutes remaining. You're going to have plenty of time to get a lap in. So I wouldn't be surprised if we... 15-minute qualifying sessions, probably around a 7-minute mark, we see guys jump into pit road, get fresh tires, and go back out there again. So let's go ahead and talk about the point standings. It's been super tight the last couple weeks, and it's got nothing but tighter as K-Dog whipping it around. First, let's talk about your points leader, Chops. Started the season off strong. Back-to-back wins. He's had some issues as of late. Not of his own doing, though. A couple races got taken out and others wrecks. Last week in the downpour at Brands Hatch survived to get a podium. Chops now just leads the championship by 4 points over K-Dog. K-Dog trying to come in strong. The last... really the last 3 out of 4 races, K-Dog has outscored Chops to break that down. That lead was an entire race. It was 21 points at one point. K-Dog has now gotten it down to 4. One man very excited for tonight. Currently sitting on the pole, tied for third place in points, Doge. Doge has had a great lap. He was at an 11.6 in practice. Totally just stomped on it. An 11.1. Let's talk about practice times too before we go through this. We had 5 guys within a second of the pole. We haven't really had that all that much this season. It seems like one driver gets really hooked up at a track, and the battle for the lead's not exactly what we were hoping it to be. Just dominating performances by our race winners. That won't be the case tonight. We have a handful of guys ready to swipe it as soon as one guy makes a mistake. But Doge setting that dominance early. The man he is tied with in points, Dossie, missed the first 2 races, got himself a full-time seat, and has done nothing but impress since. He's won 3 out of his 4 races to jump him up in this points battle. And as you see Dossie, who's hat-tricked the last 2 races, Doge wants to end that streak. Doge is really feeling it in the Ferrari. This layout actually is very, very nice for the Ferrari, so Doge knows what he has tonight and wants to take full advantage of it. Alright, let's talk about 5th place in points. And unfortunately, I don't have anybody to go to on the scoreboard. That would be RPG, who is going to miss tonight's race, unfortunately. He let us know right beforehand. Works issues, the timing's not working out. Killer for RPG, as he was just 16 points out of the championship. You know, after this, there'll be 5 races left. It's hard to say, you know, to completely write him off because RPG has won multiple times in this league. He's going to have his work cut out for him, though. Alright, 6th place in points. Two-Tone Tommy, teammate of K-Dog. Tommy just constantly scoring decent points every week. He took over Mac Attack's car, and every week he's just improving on his speed, whatnot. He was actually battling for a potential podium last week at Brands Hatch. He was on Chop's bumper. A late race mistake, though, cost him. Tires wore out. He got caught in a wreck early while in 3rd in a podium spot. Wrecked with the lap car, pitted, did his damnedest to come back, and it was a valiant effort, but unfortunately the tires just gave up on him on the end, and he was so close to finding his first podium. 7th in points, currently 3rd on the list. We're going to the Porsche of Bubba. Bubba's had some great qualifying efforts like we're seeing now, but he's been plagued in the race. He outdrives himself. The Porsche is a fickle lover. There's a whole lot of rear end on her, and that rear end will swipe on you in an instant, and that's what Bubba's trying to figure out. I went through my growing pains as well when I drove the rough in ProjCars2. If there's any race for Bubba to snap that, it's tonight at Sonoma. Again, Bubba is a NASCAR guy. This is the NASCAR layout of Sonoma. Something that he has driven many, many a times. Bubba's got a lot more speed than what he's showing right now. As well, Bubba was in the very low 12s. He possibly has an 11 in him as well. So we're looking for Bubba to jump up there. The, we talked about it earlier in practice. We had 5 drivers went in a second. That 5th driver is K-Dog, currently down in 9th. But we saw earlier, K-Dog had issues with traffic, so he's pitted. He's getting fresh tires. And we'll see if he can jump up the list. Let's do a shout-out right now. Currently sitting in 5th, Puma. We talked about this being a nice layout for Ferrari. This is also a really nice layout for McLaren. Puma had that incredible, out-of-nowhere podium finish at Alton Park. Kept that McLaren clean. Just brought her home in beautifully. Looking to duplicate that tonight or even improve it. As he just gets bumped by Excise. This is another car. The Mercedes hasn't fared all that well this season. It's going to be a really nice track for it. Excise is looking for consistency. Last week in the downpour had his best finish ever, 4th place. Can he bump it up one more? Can he get on that podium? And Jacko, actually to start the season, Jacko, the Audi was a little bit above. They actually haven't been doing a bad job with balance in the GT3 field. The Audi was a step above when we started the season. However, after race number 3 or 4, I believe, there was a patch that did a rebalance to kind of help equal everybody back in. But then, naturally, just the way GT3 cars are, some cars are going to have an advantage over others at certain tracks. And this layout of Sonoma is an equalizer. But then saying that as well, Dossie has won 2 in a row, 3 out of 4. So the Porsche ain't no slouch either. As we mentioned just a few moments ago as well, Dossie, back-to-back hat tricks. Currently looking to get that snapped possibly in qualifying. Doge looking for his first career podium. He will not improve it on this lap. However, if I know Doge, he wants that 10. He is so close. He's within 2 tenths. Doge is going to push. As you've seen, he's already pushed in qualifying the way that Ferrari is busted up in the front. Which is just a graphics glitch. Anytime the drivers pit, they do repair the damage. However, I get to still see mangled cars. Hooray! There we go. K-Dog now has jumped up. He's up to 4th place. Though Chops, with a really nice lap, is up to P3. He is not far off at all now. He is vastly improved on his practice time. We're looking now for K-Dog and Bubba to shave at least half seconds off their time, so we can have the 5 drivers within a second again. Excise is not too far off as well from K-Dog and Bubba. Right there, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 3 NASCAR guys. Alright, Puma in 7th. Austin Taylor in 8th. Teammate of Dossie. Austin missed last week. Looking to have a really strong finish. Try to get himself back up into a points battle. Jacko, I mean, I always root for Bubba. Bubba's my man, but Doge has been like a little brother. I've had to bust his balls on occasions. He's really excited about tonight. I'm really hoping for him. He's got, as you see, the Ferrari's got speed. Doge really does a great job practicing as much as possible. The dedication the kid has is awesome, so I really want to see if he can seal the deal tonight. Alright, Two-Tone Tommy just did clip Austin by a couple hundredths of a second. So Tommy in 8th, Austin in 9th. Jaja is down in 10th. Sandman in 11th. Dre in 12th. Habab making his debut. Habab's another NASCAR driver. Making his debut. He's currently in 13th. And then we've got Drew in 14th. That's going to be it for Doge. There's no way for Doge to get back around in time to make another lap. Doge now is going to have to sit in the pits and sweat this out. Dossie is on the track. He is about to start his final lap. As Dossie has just a little over a tenth now to try to shave off in this final effort. We're going to ride with our defending winner from last week. We're going to look at his gaps through Sector 1. He does have Jaja. All right, Jaja just completely put it in the grass. Got out of Dossie. Dossie is red in Sector 1, though. If I could throw a boomerang at his balls, Jacko, I would have, if that means the same thing. All right, Dossie through 2 sectors, and Dossie just pulled off. Dossie just bailed on it. Chops has bailed on it. K-Dog has gotten himself within a second. He's going to give it one last effort. See if he can jump up into the top 3. Bubba is out there as well. Oh! Bubba just lost it. Into the wall. That's it for Bubba. Austin's out there. Austin has improved. He has jumped up to 5th place. K-Dog not too far behind him. We have a couple drivers coming out of the hairpins. Let's try to find them real quick. All right, here we go. So Dre will be the first driver to cross the line. Currently 11th. And we'll stay 11th. All right, Tommy just crossed the line. He'll hold his position in 9th. Here comes Puma. Can he improve from 8th? Nope, he will stay there. I believe he did improve his time, but he will stay in 8th. K-Dog's next up. Can he jump into the top 3? He can! K-Dog is going to fall just short, but he clips Dossie. K-Dog up to P2. Austin crossing the line now. He is going to stay in 5th. And that's going to be qualifying. Doge having to sweat it out. But ultimately, he is going to snag his first career podium. Congratulations to Doge. K-Dog, a strong last effort, jumps up to 2. Dossie is going to start 3rd. Chops right there. The top 4 within half a second. It is going to be tight. Austin clips Bubba. Excise right behind Bubba. Puma, Two-Tone, Jaja is going to be the rest of your top 10, followed by Dre, Sandman, Habab, and Drew to round out the field. This is what we're about to get for 37 laps. The pressure is going to be on for every driver. One little slip up here at Sonoma is going to cost you a ton of time. So who has the patience to back out of it? Who has the patience to realize maybe right now is not the time to battle? Let a guy by. When to defend, when not. The 2-minute timer is starting. The gentleman now making any last-minute adjustments, making sure the fuel is just right. Like we mentioned every week with GT3 cars, when you pit, you cannot fuel up and change tires at the same time. So to maximize efficiency, you start with as much fuel as you need for the race. That way when you come in, you just get your tires and go. Very familiar to what we see in F1. All right, let's get our speedometers. Let's get our map track up. Now, one thing that is going to be tricky for the broadcast tonight is a lot of the camera angles, as we're seeing, is really low on the track. So once we see a battle forming, we're going to see a lot of roof cams tonight. Catch as much of the action as possible. 14 of the 16 spots have taken up. Doge with his first career pole, excuse me. Addicted. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that was a killer lap Doge had. I know he wanted to sneak into the 10s, but that was an awesome, awesome lap. But K-Dog, Dossie, and Chops. Oh, it's going to be fun. And Jacko, yes, there are mandatory pit stops for tires. Matter of fact, we're going to do something a little crazy so we get a good view of up front. We're hopping on the roof of Austin's Porsche. We're going to follow Austin through turns 1 and 2 to see if we can get a better look at the top of the field. Then we'll jump trackside and we'll catch all the action in the back. But here we go. The lights. And we're green. Doge does not get a good start. K-Dog jumps him. Dossie makes a great move to the outside. Doge looking to drop 2 spots in the first 2 turns. Austin look on the outside of Chops. He's going to make it work out. Let's go trackside now as the Porsche and the Audi battle side by side through the uphill S. Very tricky section. Very nice move by Austin. Give him 4th place. We got to go up front. Dossie taking a peek at K-Dog. That right-hander, you can run wide. K-Dog used that to his advantage. Made sure that he was able to carry speed so Dossie couldn't quite get that overtake. Same thing again. That second right-hander, K-Dog going wide, using that speed. Keeps Dossie behind him. Doge now all over the back of Dossie. Doge has got to be kicking himself for that start. However, he has to stay patient. We have a long race tonight. You can lose it on lap 1. Can't necessarily win it on lap 1. Doge! No, 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 no! Oh! Doge with a great save. The rear end started sliding out from him. That's going to be 2 more spots lost. So our pole sitter down to 5th after 1 lap. However, no damage to the car. He's just got to regroup himself, take a deep breath, get back on it. And overall, looking at the field, nice clean start for everybody on lap 1. There may have been a little beating and banging it back, but nobody went off track. Nobody's really lost it. You have Habab and Drew battling it for 13th and 14th right now. Those are really the 2 guys. And as a matter of fact, they have gotten together. Yes, they have. It's really hard to go side by side after the hairpin. But unfortunately, the Ferrari and the Porsche of those 2 drivers are dinged up, and K-Dog has issues. K-Dog has gone off. The uphill S caught K-Dog. There are 3 insanely tricky spots. Turn 2, the uphill S, and the entry to these back-to-back S's. K-Dog got ate up by the uphill S. He has lost the lead. Dossie now has inherited the lead. His teammate, Austin, qualified 5th, is up to 2nd. Chops in 3rd. Doge in 4th, taking advantage of K-Dog's slip-up. Bubba in 5th. We talked about it. Bubba's had some good speed so far this season. Just hasn't had the race performance to make up for the qualifying performance. He's looking to change that now. Sitting in 4th place. As Austin had issues. Austin had issues in the hairpin. Tough break for the young driver. Gave up 2nd place, has fallen all the way down to 12th. This is what we talked about with Sonoma. It is unforgiving. I was trying to preach it to some of our drivers pre-race. Don't be afraid to give up a 10th. If you give up a 10th here and there, it can save you 12 seconds in the long run. If you have an off, that's how bad it can be. And unfortunately, we're seeing several drivers eat up those 12-second offs. Dossie jumping out to an early lead. He's got 4 seconds on the battle for 2nd. Chops has got a mirror full of Doge right now. Your pole sitter trying to rebound off the bad start and the mistake that he had right here in this turn on the first lap. And Zeke, it could have, not necessarily cold tires. The game does start you on a decent temperature, as we have a battle for 4th place. K-Dog gets around Bubba going into the hairpin. But it starts you on decent enough temperature for your tires. I just believe he overpushed it. That's what it came down to. All right, let's jump back up front. We're going to go ahead and hop on the roof of Doge. If he can set up Chops, try to take 2nd place from the Audi. Super tight. The sun, as you saw off in the mountains, just starting to rise up. This race, game time started at 6 a.m., so the track is nice and chill. When we get to the end of the race, it's going to heat up. Not to mention all these offs that we're having with live track here in ProjCars2. It's going to kick dirt, debris, and gravel onto the track. The track's going to get a lot more slick. The end of this race is going to come down to patience. Speaking of patience, so Doge right now not pushing the issue terribly much as he makes a really nice dive into turn 2 there. Really close the gap on Chops, but I think we're saying Doge not pressing it too hard. Like to get that spot, but he's already had a little taste of a slip-up. He knows that sometimes it's just not worth it. Dossie's running away with the lead right now. But we still have 32 and a half laps to go, plus pit stops. And while Dossie has had a great last couple of weeks, he's not totally invincible. Everybody had slip-ups last week at Brands Hatch in that storm. So Dossie does have it in him to be human. Doge knows that. Now we have a three-way battle for second place as K-Dog is recovered and making his way back. And there's some commentator curse as K-Dog whips that rear end out. Great catch. Gets her going straight. Loses a second or so, but nothing too terrible. Alright, while this battle is kind of simmered for just a moment, let's go through the field. As we talk, Dossie started third. Took advantage of mistakes from K-Dog and Doge, got the lead, and is running away with it. Almost a 7-second lead right now. Chops qualified fourth. He's up to second. Same thing, took advantage of Doge and K-Dog's mistakes. Both your pole sitter and your number 2 qualifier have lost 2 spots, have bounced back. Doge looking to make a run on Chops. Can't quite get his nose there. Trying to both recover. There we go. Chops, you saw, trying to accelerate on the curb. Had some wheel spin. K-Dog! Oh, K-Dog got in extremely hard. Got into the rear end of Chops. Chops was able to keep her straight. Actually defends off Doge. Chops is going to have some rear end damage. However, K-Dog got a nose full of that. So unfortunate late break by K-Dog. And it doesn't look that bad, but on a very fast track like this, K-Dog's going to feel it on handling. See, yeah, that was a definite slam dunk. I was trying to get through the field real quick, but Doge now, seeing that Dossie has a 10-second lead, Doge is not feeling this right now. I think Doge is saying, all right, let me get around this Audi. Let me see if I can chase down that Porsche. There's turn number 2, uphill right-hander. Turns 3 and 4. 4 is the one that can get you. Again, an uphill into a downhill on that right-hander. As Chops went wide, this is the opportunity Doge needs, and K-Dog's going to take advantage of it too. Chops went wide, had to get off the gas. It's going to cost them 2 spots. Overall, though, not a lot of time. So it was a good catch by Chops. Now that he has some clean track, can Doge separate himself from K-Dog? Can he chase down Dossie or at least stop the bleeding? Dossie with an 11.5-second lead now. Kyle, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for hopping in, my man. Coming around the hairpin, we're going to look at the delta when he crosses the line this time by. Looked like Doge had a really good Sector 3 and shaved off over a half second on Dossie. So we'll watch out on Doge and K-Dog. Both Doge and K-Dog have separated themselves from Chops now. So maybe that rear end damage Chops suffered when K-Dog got into the back of him is hurting the Audi a little more than we anticipated. Alright, let's jump back. Driver sitting in 5th place right now, but cannot relax. Oh, this Puma had some issues there at turn 2. Keeps it together. Has that McLaren up in 5th place, but has Tommy and Bubba right behind him. Puma goes wide again. Commentator curse in full effect. We just saw Chops do that same kind of move. And just like Chops, Puma's going to lose 2 positions. However, he's still right there. So if Tommy or Bubba, as Bubba took a peek in there, couldn't quite make it stick. Those 2 drivers start duking it out. Puma's going to look to bounce back and try to get that top 5 spot back. Not too far behind this battle is Jaja in 8th place. He's 2.5 seconds back. If it really starts mixing up there, he'll be able to try to join that battle. Austin had issues in the hairpin. He was running 2nd behind his teammate. Unfortunate issues dropped him all the way to the back of the field. He's recovered some, though. Up to 9th place, trying to chase down Jaja. Alright, we have X-Ice. A lot of damage on that front of the Mercedes. As you can see, the headlight is out on the passenger side. X-Ice was looking to have a nice race here. He's had some early troubles. Gonna have to battle through it. Sandman, currently in 11th. Right now, the McLaren looking good. Sandman has to be happy with this start. Dre back in 12th. Dre did not, he pretty much got home right for qualifying, so he wasn't able to really get himself into, and he was excited to get the Ferrari on the track. He's still got a lot of time to go. 28 laps. Dre looking to see if he could get up into the top 10. And then Drew and Habab, who had a lap 1 accident that we unfortunately couldn't catch on camera, but both cars really beat up, had to have multiple pit stops. And there's our field, so back up front. Dossie, your leader, and actually, looking at our track map, we have got a gaggle going on, as K-Dog's had issues. The rear wing of K-Dog is completely off. K-Dog was in 3rd place. He's had horrendous issues. He is coming into pit. This is going to be a tough break for K-Dog. However, this can be his 1 pit stop. We saw at Laguna Seca K-Dog take the tires extremely far. He is going to need another performance like that. The rear wing is back on the car. They're changing tires. It's going to be some extra seconds to repair that damage. Tough break for K-Dog, battling for a podium spot. Oh no. Oh no, Tommy in the butter in the wall. That was going to be our battle for 4th place. Tommy, Bubba, and Puma were duking it out. Now Bubba looks to have a slight advantage right now. He's got 2 seconds over Puma. And now Jaja, thanks to the issues with Tommy and K-Dog, Jaja is up to 6th place. It's going to move Austin up to 7th. Nice recovery for Austin now. And K-Dog is still in the pits. He is just now leaving the pits, but he has gone a lap down. That was a long pit stop for damage repair for K-Dog. K-Dog calling the wild ride. That, you know what that means. We're downloading the replay. We are going to hop in that Audi during banter time and see what exactly happened to your number 2 in points. Hey, Dossie's starting to expand on Doge. Not tremendously. Not like we saw Dossie build the lead up the first 8 laps. Since Doge has taken over 2nd place, Dossie's only gained a few tenths on him. Maybe about a half second at most. So Doge has kind of neutralized Dossie's lead, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to wipe it out. He's going to need some help. Chops, riding around 3rd right now. Maybe after all the excitement that he had the first handful of laps, he's probably welcoming a nice bit of quiet track. He is over 7.5 seconds behind Doge. He's still got over 4 seconds on Bubba, but it looks like that Porsche slowly starting to creep up there, as Bubba is putting more room between him and Puma now. Almost 6 seconds. Bubba is feeling it right now. Jaja currently in 6th, chasing down Puma. We see Puma has some side scraping going on. Gonna do a little door bash with somebody, but I don't see any extensive damage, but Puma is falling off his own pace right now. You see there's 2 3/4 seconds off his best lap, and that's allowed Jaja to close in, and Austin is right behind him, so we have, once again, a 3-car battle for 5th place. Puma defending off 2 different drivers this time. Last time around, it was Bubba and Tommy. Now, Puma has to see what he can do against Jaja and Austin. Austin taking a look on Jaja, gets a great run, establishes the overtake, hugs that inside, and he'll secure it. So give Austin 6th place. Jaja didn't fight it too hard. Jaja gave a lot of room, and I believe that may have been... Nope, that was Tommy then. Tommy had issues. This is going to allow X-Ice to sneak up to him now. That's going to be the battle for 8th. Is now Austin looking to chase down Puma. And actually, Bubba has had some issues. Bubba has lost a handful of seconds here in this last lap, and you see it, the damage to the right front of that Porsche. Not sure what happened to Bubba, but an unfortunate break has now dropped him back to almost 8 seconds behind Chops. That was about 4 seconds last lap. It's dropped him down to 8. He had over a 5-second gap on Puma. That is now under 2. Hey, Transa, thanks for hopping in. Go ahead and follow the link there that Hootbot just shot out to you. Sign up. It's free to sign up. It's free to race. Granted, the website does run on donations, but we don't require anybody to pay to race. By all means, my man, if you like what you see, plus, not only this GT3 class, we have F1, we have NASCAR, PS4, Xbox, PC, iRacing. You want to get your race fix in, my man, go ahead and hit us up. Bubba's still losing time. And we are still a handful of laps short of halfway. If I was Bubba, I'd really contemplate maybe pitting a little early, getting that damage fixed. That Porsche is fast, but right now it is not. He has got to do something. Speaking of fast, our pole sitter, Doge, is starting to wind it down. We saw 12 seconds. It's down to 10.5. Oh, a lot of wheel spin. Doge had lost a ton of time right there coming off that right-hander. Well, so much for getting it down to 10.5. Still well more. And Transa, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Doge still has well more than half the race to go. He's got to keep it smooth, keep himself collected, get back up there. And you see the paint scrapes on that Ferrari. Pole sitter has not had an easy race. Sportsman move by Habab there. Bob's had a rough race. He went ahead and he's moving out of the way, doesn't want to impede any of the leaders. And now as I'm staring at the leaderboard, we have had a retirement. Unfortunately, it looks like Drew the Great has retired in his Ferrari, involved in a lap 1 accident. I believe that car may have succumbed to damage. Your number 2 qualifier, K-Dog. Ton of damage on that car. He's already made his pit stop, so he'll get back on the lead lap once everybody else pits. But, alright, we were just talking about, speaking of pit stops, Bubba has done it. He went ahead, he is pitted, he's getting that damage repaired, he's getting new tires. Bubba will have to take care of those tires, he'll have to go a little bit of a distance. He went 14 laps on this set. He'll have to go 23 on the next set. That's not asking a ton. But Bubba will have to watch it a little bit. And unfortunately, this repair time is costing him. Puma has given up 5th place. He is coming to pit. And actually, is that damage on Puma? I wish we could get a better angle. But I do believe I see the hood crumpled in on the McLaren. I'm wondering if maybe Puma got into the back of Bubba and that's why they both had to pit together. Let's jump back up now. We have a battle for 5th place. Seems like 5th place is always being contended so far in this race. X-Ice is on the bumper of Tommy. We're going to hop on the roof of the Mercedes. The beautiful Hot Wheels blue. X-Ice with a nice run through the hairpin. Closes the gap a little bit more. These first set of tires, almost to the end of their lives. We're seeing the time slow down from each driver. The grip is starting to go away. All in the hands of the driver. Who can wheelman it the best? Oh, great catch by Tommy. Accelerated on that curbing, and it damn near whipped that Audi right around. Allowed X-Ice to close in, but just a great snag by Tommy. Keeps his position for at least a little bit longer. See both drivers doing nice and smooth, taking it cautious here through the double S's. Excise went a little bit wide, allowed Tommy a little bit of breathing room as we come into the hairpin. All the way down to first gear, all the way to 40 miles an hour. Gonna go ahead and keep the camera here. See a couple battles starting to tighten up a little bit throughout the field, but this is the closest one. Excise had to grab the car himself there. You can tell the way the camera tilted just a little bit, that rear end started sliding in between 1 and 2. This track elevation here at Sonoma cannot be understated. It is so difficult, especially on some of these heavier cars, the wheel spin that you'll get. And that rear end of the car trying to come around on you just really puts a, it taxes the driver. It really does. Excise pushing a little bit too hard this lap. At a couple turns that I feel he would want back. It's allowed Tommy to get a little bit of a gap. However, all it's going to take is one little slip up, and Excise is right there. And actually, Excise is going to go ahead and come in the pits. Excise is going to give up 6th place. Just before the halfway point. Then we go in, get fresh tires. Interesting to see, though, if he's going to repair that damage. And here we go. Here is a gaggle. Bubba and Dre battling it out for 8th place. Oh, Dre has issues. Oh, no! Oh, no! Was that K-Dog or... That was K-Dog. Dre got it in the grass. The wheel spin, whipped him right around. K-Dog had nowhere to go, and here comes another pit stop for the Audi. K-Dog qualified 2nd. Has a really fast race car, but 2 unfortunate incidents now. For your driver 2nd in the points entering this race, your points leader Chops looking to take full advantage of... Alright, let's talk about it. So we had 5 drivers enter this race within 1 race worth of points. RPG is not here. K-Dog has had several issues. He is back in the pack. K-Dog, Dre just straight up got in the grass and the car whipped around immediately on him. I know that wasn't, him trying to be careless. He just lost all traction and you could not have been in a worse spot. Chops your points leader. Looking to lose as of this moment. He would lose a little bit of ground to Dossie and Doge, drivers who are tied for 3rd right now. His nearest competitor, though, K-Dog, back in 10th place right now. This is going to be it's hard to say it's a big points day for Chops because Dossie and Doge are going to... Ooh, as Sandman has issues there in the hairpin. But he's going to have 2 competitors close in on him and then potentially 2 fall out, with K-Dog having his issues and RPG not making the race tonight. Jaja has came into pit. He has fresh tires on his Ferrari. Little bit of damage. He's going to come out in 8th place. Excise, he's going to take 7th after his pit stop. Bubba is in 6th right now. Austin had to pit super early, but technically has made his pit stop. He is going to have his... And Austin has had some big-time issues. 13 seconds off pace. Let's watch the Porsche. Is he going to have to come in? He is not coming in, so that just must have been an off, and thankfully no extra damage for Austin. All right, here we go, up front. So Tommy is hit pit, and Doge is pitted. Tommy giving up 4th place. Doge potentially giving up 2nd as Chops is coming around the hairpin. What Doge needs, though, is to leave pit road with some open track. Here he goes. I see one driver coming around from the hairpin. Oh, no, and there's another lap vehicle, though, leaving pit road right in front of Doge. So Doge needs to try to get around that lap vehicle as much as possible. Or, excuse me, as quick as possible. And then start throwing down laps. Alright, we currently have Jaja 5 seconds behind Excise. Field's a little bit spread out currently after this round of pit stops. There we go. Habab again. Oh no, Habab, careful! I was about to say Habab looking to serve the blue flag, but it looked like the Porsche, his Porsche is pretty beat up. Just kind of swerved back and got into the door of Doge. Habab spun around, thankfully, for our pole sitter. Nothing terrible than a couple extra dents on that door. That must be Tommy in front of Doge. It is. And there we go. And while we were watching all this, Dossie has pitted. He's in and out with his Porsche. He has relinquished the lead. Chops is going to inherit the lead due to the pit stop. Doge has got it within 10 seconds now. You're seeing it's a high 9-second gap between Dossie and Doge. So Doge is still trying to shave off a little bit here and there, but Dossie with a really nice gap. At this point, Dossie just needs to keep the car under him. Trying to go for 3 in a row. And Sandman is unfortunate, our second retiree of the night. Actually, Sandman, it looks like your car went straight into the wall at the hairpin. So if your wheel cut out on you, it picked a really good spot to do it. I don't think anybody got impacted by that. Alright, Dre, a lap down, moving over. For second place, Dossie. Chops is still out there. Still around 10 seconds between second and third. Really, that's your battle for your lead once Chops comes into pit. Let's do a quick peek at our scoreboard. Currently, Doge. Actually, no. Currently, K-Dog down in 10th place has the fastest lap of the race. With a 12 flat. Doge had a 12.2. Dossie with a 12.7. Yeah, that stinks, Sam, man. You did a good job keeping the car underneath you. You didn't have any damage on the McLaren. We saw you getting your way up on that scoreboard, and then I think we'll just chalk that up as a mechanical failure with your wheel crapping out. Doge pushing that Ferrari to the limit, hopping on curb, clipping grass, trying to do everything he can to try to close in on Dossie. Meanwhile, Dossie starting to close in on Chops. And I believe Dossie may have just ran... No, he didn't, but he... Wow, Dossie was less than 3/100ths of a second off K-Dog's time. So K-Dog still currently owns the fastest lap. But Dossie feeling it right now. In a groove. And he's chasing down Chops. Matter of fact, Dossie is a 10th up. Dossie is looking to take that fastest lap. We see Excise currently running in 6th place, the first vehicle a lap down. Only 5 cars on the lead lap right now. Chops still up on his Delta. Excise, the sportsmanship of the drivers that we have here in the PRL, moving out of the way, giving up a couple seconds to make sure he doesn't impede. And there we go, Chops is in. So Chops is now pitting. Dossie has gotten the lead back. Let's watch as Dossie crosses the line. Does he take the fastest lap? No, he doesn't. He lost a chunk of time in Sector 3. Alright, with Chop's pit stop, your pole sitter Doge is going to take back second place. Had issues on that lap. The 10-second gap has fallen to almost 12 seconds. I think what we're seeing out of the Ferrari driver now is a little bit of desperation. He's trying to push it a little bit too hard. He needs to keep it smooth and consistent. Alright, the Audi is pulling out of the pit stall. Austin back in 4th place. Coming around to the hairpin. As Chops is now leaving pit road, so Chops is going to secure 3rd. Once Chops get up to speed, we're going to look at the distance here for this podium battle. It's going to be about 8 seconds with a little more than 12 laps to go. Let's do a rundown of the field. Bubba, currently in 5th. That Porsche's got some speed on her tonight, but Bubba's had a few issues. He's able to recover a little bit. I know he was trying to hope for a podium, and no, commentator curse. Bubba goes wide. All right, keeps it underneath him. And that is your leader, Dossie, right behind Bubba. So Dossie looking to put another victim a lap down, trying to make it just 4 cars on the lead lap. Bubba knows there's only 4 seconds back to excise, so he's going to try to time this out well to let Dossie by where it doesn't hurt him. And this is actually going to work out perfect for Bubba. Oh no, I think Bubba was hoping Dossie could get a little bit closer. Bubba's going to let him by in straight, but really if Bubba could have let Dossie by in the hairpin, that would have cost him almost no time. Instead, it is going to shave off a second. Excise is going to close in now to about 2.5 seconds behind Bubba. 2 NASCAR veterans trying to battle it out for a top 5 here at the NASCAR layout of Sonoma. Excise finished 4th in the monsoon at Brands Hatch last week. Looking for another strong performance in the Mercedes. Let's talk about him. Jaja, currently in 7th place. Ferrari has seen some action, as you see by the front of that car. But trying to have a strong finish for Speed Syndicate. Tommy is off again. This has been a really rough race for Apex Motorsports. Tommy and K-Dog both have really fast cars, but have found trouble several times. Matter of fact, Puma now in 9th place. A lot of damage on the front of that McLaren. Some cracks on the windshield. Trying to catch it up to Tommy. Those two duke it out for 8th place. Just around 2 seconds separates the 2 drivers. K-Dog over 10 seconds back. Coming around the hairpin, it's still about a 2-second gap between Tommy and Puma. We'll keep an eye on that as we go back up to the Mercedes. It's now down to about a 1.5 seconds. Excise been running faster laps than Bubba, trying to close that gap in. As we hop on the roof, so the sun now starting to rise over the mountains. In Sector 3, we're starting to get a glare. We were talking about the elements towards the end of this race. With live track, all the dirt, the rocks, the debris getting kicked up on the track. The tires becoming slicker. The track becoming hotter and slicker. Now we have sun glare to deal with. Really pushing these drivers to the max here at the end of the race. That time around again, X-Ice a second and a half quicker than Bubba. Bubba off in the grass, had to catch the Porsche, make sure she didn't come around on him. That's going to put X-Ice right to his bumper. X-Ice trying to give Bubba a mirror full. See if he can break his concentration coming up through the S's. Bubba using that curbing to his advantage. Keeping the gap. It's the battle for fifth, folks. X-Ice with a good run. Can he make a move going into the hairpin? Nope. Couldn't quite get there. Backs off a little bit early. Maybe seeing if he could have got Bubba to dive in a little deep and then make a move on exit. Still, 9 laps to go in this race. X-Ice knows he doesn't have to make the move right just this moment, especially if it's risky. Bubba with a little wiggle. The tires are starting to give out on Bubba. Remember, he had to pit a handful of laps early than he would wanted to due to damage. So now the tires are starting to slide off that Porsche. Bubba is being a wheelman right now, trying to do everything he can to keep that car underneath him. X-Ice just looking to pounce as soon as the right opportunity presented itself. Alright, while this is happening, the scoreboard made it seem closer than what it was. Pumas a little under 2 seconds behind Tommy. There's your battle for 8th. Let's jump back on an X-Ice. The battle for 5th. Oh! Alright, Bubba missed his braking point, went really wide in the hairpin. We've got a drag race. The Porsche power is going to hold the spot for Bubba for now. You see X-Ice a second and a half off his fastest lap. Being really patient right now, not wanting to risk a good finish. He has a position to gain, but he has several to lose. So he's being very smart. Bubba, a little bit too much curb there. Again, the Porsche trying to come out from underneath him, but Bubba not letting it. X-Ice just sticking the nose out there, just showing Bubba, hey, I'm here. Giving it a peek, but not a real effort. X-Ice is hoping that if he can catch, actually Bubba with a really better entry than X-Ice that time. X-Ice did a good job running that high line to make sure he didn't fall back though. I was about to say, that sweeping right-hander, X-Ice is trying to see if he can get Bubba in a mistake, so they can drag race down that short chute and then brake heavy into the hairpin to complete the pass. That really is your safest passing opportunity here at Sonoma, other than the 2 right-handers in what we call the NASCAR section. Oh no, Bubba with a slip! There we go, X-Ice providing enough pressure. Finally forced Bubba into an error. We saw Bubba fighting his car the last handful of laps in that section. And finally just could not hold on to it. Slipped up, gives X-Ice 5th. Doge now trying to get around these lapped cars. Though he has fallen 13 seconds behind Dossie. So give it to your Mercedes driver. Really nice job staying patient, trying to set up that pass, and then taking advantage when Bubba slipped up. Now here's the thing with Excise. Alright, Excise is just going to go ahead and move to the side now. Still try to get on the gas, though. Wants to do the sportsman thing. Serves his blue flag. Doesn't want to impede on Doge. Because Doge, you know, if Dossie has a slip-up, that's a potential battle for the win right there. Doesn't want to impede. However, did not want to give up too much time and allow Bubba to get right back into it. Bubba's behind Excise, though. If you're Excise, you know, oh, Bubba with a big off that time. Keeps her together, but that's going to cost him a chunk of time. I was about to say, if you're Excise, you know the tires are shot on that Porsche. I wouldn't even look in the mirror, just hit your marks. Bubba has his hands full enough, let alone to try to set up an overtake right now. Bubba's starting to fall back a little bit. It's almost a second and a half now. Let's go ahead and check back in to 8th place. Puma, currently running his fastest Sector 1. Puma is in the middle of an apex sandwich as K-Dog is right on his rear, trying to chase down Tommy. Got the lap car Habab. I know, and Habab doing his best to stay out of the way. That's just a really, really bad sector to get caught in right there. It leading into the double S's. Unfortunately, that cost Puma a little bit of time. However, there was a slight bit of contact. Could have been a lot worse, so Puma's got to at least be content with that. As Tommy had issues in the hairpin. And that's going to allow Puma to close right on up. Or, excuse me, K-Dog got around Puma in the hairpin. This is what happens when the cars look almost the same. So give K-Dog 9th place. And we had a third retiree. It looks like Dre has called it for his Ferrari. Saw Dre have to make several pit stops, so again, it looks like an unfortunate car failure. Dre had to park it. Alright, K-Dog now pulling away from Puma. Gonna start working on his teammate. Oh! Oh no! Some teammate on teammate action there. K-Dog stuck his nose in. It looks like Tommy was not expecting it. K-Dog did the right thing. He was the cause of the contact, so K-Dog did not take advantage of it. Tommy spun. K-Dog gave the position back to his teammate, but that allowed Puma to jump both Apex drivers. So Puma now in 8th place. With a bit of a gap. He's got 4 seconds over Tommy now. And running quicker than Jaja, so Puma, see if he can't chase down Jaja. We'll have a battle for 7th here before this race is over. K-Dog now behind Chops. Chops currently in 3rd. Chops your points leader, K-Dog in 2nd. Unfortunately, that gap is going to widen for K-Dog after this race. Tommy's serving the blue flag, and K-Dog's going to take advantage. So Tommy letting Chops by. K-Dog takes advantage of it and jumps his teammate, so that's going to give K-Dog 9th place. K-Dog with a lot of speed. Appears to be faster than Chops right now. It's just so difficult. These lapped cars trying to battle for position, trying not to impede on a lead lap car. However, oh, K-Dog with a little mistake there. Personally, if I was Chops and I'm seeing this action in my mirror, and I know I have 15 seconds over Austin, might be one of those deals where maybe you let him by in the hairpin, but Chops is holding his ground. And actually, Tommy got around K-Dog. We saw K-Dog a little squirrely there, so I don't know if we had another set of teammate-on-teammate contact there, but... Battle for 9th here in the late stages between teammates, having a lot of contact involved. And here we go. We were talking about it. Puma, with some good late race pace, is caught up to Jaja. Puma trying to take over that 7th position. We're going to jump on board with McLaren, chasing down the Ferrari. Oh, Jaja goes in really deep. He's going to have to get on the brakes so he doesn't get into the grass. That's going to allow Puma to complete the overtake. Puma goes deep into the hairpin. Jaja can't quite make her stick. So there you go. Give Puma 7th. In the last couple laps, Puma has gained 3 positions. He was down in 10th. Capitalized when Tommy and K-Dog got together. Got those 2 spots. Chased down Jaja. He's taken 7th place. And actually, while we were watching that, this broadcaster made a boo-boo, and we totally missed our leader claiming victory and smashing up his car. Dossie, 3 in a row. Doge is going to bring home another runner-up. He's got to be happy with the podium. Keeps him in title contention. But man, he's got to beat himself up after the start of this race, after he won his first pole. Chops, like he did last week at Brands Hatch. Looking to keep it just smooth and consistent. Gonna try to make it 2 third places in a row. This is Bubba. Excise are having some fun with each other. Bubba rubbing up on his old friend, NASCAR buddy there. Those guys are having some fun there. Good performances for Excise and Bubba. Excise 2 top 5s in a row. Chops finally coming around the hairpin. And there he goes. He's going to make it 2 straight podium finishes for your points leader. And that's going to wrap it up. Just 3 cars on the lead laps of Austin went a lap down late into the race. Dossie, 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. Doge, great pace. Just unfortunately, lap 1, put himself in a hole, couldn't dig back all the way out, but a great run for 2nd. Chops in 3rd, Austin in 4th. Great recovery for Austin, too, after crashing in 2nd place. Great bounce back for that young man. Excise takes back-to-back top 5s. Bubba would like to have a little bit of a cleaner race, but still solid 6th place for Bubba, and a late race battle for 5th. Puma, great last handful of laps there, jumps 3 positions, he'll take 7th. Jaja in 8th. Apex teammates Tommy and K-Dog are going to be 9th and 10th. Habab, the last car, running in 11th. And then Dre, Sandman, and Drew, the 3 DNFs. And we are going to save this replay because, boy howdy, do we have some things to watch. Oh no. And we hit the 1 gig limit, unfortunately. And it's not allowing us to save. Congratulations. Good job, Slightly Mad. Good job. When we can get it to save, too, it only saves 40 minutes worth, so. Oh, that's going to impede on banter time. I'm very upset about that. No matter how many times I hit the button, it's just not going to save. Or maybe it did save. No, I think K-Dog may have killed the lobby. So there you go, folks. We knew Sonoma was going to be something. And it was definitely something. Action all over the track. Drivers trying to push us to the limit, and the limit's winning the fight. So, but in the end, Dossie, just another masterful performance. As far as we saw, never went off track. Kept her clean. Got a big lead. Held on to that lead. It makes it 3 in a row. So, let's go ahead and get everything set up. Let's get our podium guys in here. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Alright, there's Chops. Alright, we have our podium finishers, so let's go ahead and get this started. 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. For Dossie, my man, congratulations. Another masterful performance tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the race, really. I mean,
well, it came down to that start. You had a rare, I can't even say a slip-up because, man, qualifying was so tough. But you qualified third. You made a strong move off the start to take second, and then took advantage of K-Dog's slip-up to get the lead, and then from there, built an early lead and just held it, my man. So, I mean, like you said, there wasn't much to talk about it, but it was all from that great start, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually on the starts, I usually don't gamble on the lights. I'll just make sure that it's green before I go. But that time I chose to gamble, and I got a really good start. But yeah, I mean, I managed to capitalize off of, I think it was Doge's mistake. Or like he was in third, and I was second, and I seen him spin behind me. And then I was able to capitalize on K-Dog's mistake. But yeah, hopefully I can keep it going and keep charging for the points.
Well, this is going to bring you even tighter. So to start the night off, you were tied with third with Doge in the championship battle. So now this is going to bring you into single digits with 5 races to go, man. Yeah. So are you excited for this?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately with the tracks that we have coming up other than Long Beach, I mean, none of them really cater to my type of driving or tracks, but it'll be interesting and it'll be close, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, Dossie, my man, again, congratulations. Just so smooth of a performance tonight. And again, making this broadcaster happy, putting a Porsche on that top step. Thank you, brother.
Yep, thank you.
All right, a great finish for our pole sitter, but I suspect maybe a little bit of a disappointment in this one. Doge, congratulations first on the pole, my man. That was a hell of a lap you put down, that 11-1. That was fantastic. So we mentioned it. Unfortunately, just a little sluggish off the light, and then you had that slip up, but you held your composure. You raced your way back up, and then just unfortunately just a little bit too big of a hole to climb yourself out of to get that first win. But again, man, a masterful race after that first lap. Is this I don't want to. I hate doing an interview like this because I don't want to like rub it in, but it's like, so what's the biggest learning experience you could take away from this one? Because we know you're going to be strong at Long Beach. So do you just brush this one off? Do you work on your restart, the start from here? What's your game plan moving forward?
I'm probably going to have to be more aggressive on passing.
So along with that too, like I said though, your first pole, like, I know this hurts, but you gotta at least be happy with that, right? And it's at least the one thing you can hang your head up on. Or is it a little too?
Well, yeah. No, I was happy about the pole.
Well, let's talk about that lap though.
And I ended up parking it, and I saw a K-Dog almost clip me.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, at the very end, that was really tight. The top 3 guys were almost within a tenth. So that was absolutely nuts. But like I said, man, that was a hell of a lap. Were you, because we were talking about low 11s, were you ultimately happy with that, or you're like, damn it, you were so close to a 10?
I was like, holy crap, that didn't feel like an 11-1.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, we saw you in the middle 11s in practice, and you just had her hooked up, and just, that was a flying lap, my man. But I won't keep hounding you. Like I said, I know this one hurts. I've been in your shoes before, brother. But again, hell of a run, great perseverance, great way to keep your composure after that start, and I mean, definitely looking to see it bounce back.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and round out our podium. Chops, my man. Second week in a row, self-admitted. Well, last week you said you didn't have the pace, and then you didn't show the pace in practice, but then had a great qualifying lap. Ultimately, you keep the car clean, come home in third, my man. We did see on the broadcast early on there was a 3-way battle. You, Tommy, and K-Dog. And K-Dog just slid the tires, got into the rear end of you. Did that mess up your handling afterwards? Because it seemed it may have taken you a little bit off pace.
Yeah, yeah, you know me. I just slow and steady, I guess. But yeah, we were kind of having a battle early on, and I think I've said it before. I mean, I just try to keep it on the track more than anything. And there was some pretty intense. I don't know if I call it aggressive or what, but there's some guys going for it, and I think I witnessed a lot of carnage too. And I was just trying to stay out of the way. Like Doge was coming up the inside of me, so I just I was gonna let him go, and then K Dog got in the back of me, and car was a little bit banged up, but you know, hey, just keep it on the track, keep going, have some fun.
And that's what it comes down to. We were talking a pre-race, man. The brown grass or really orange grass, you just call it the butter. And as you say, you saw carnage all around you, but you kept her clean. While you lost points to Doge and Dossie, you really put a nice gap now. RPG pretty much is going to be out of it at this point, and K-Dog saw himself behind the 8-ball with that finish. So after 7 races, your points lead is still intact. We're coming into Long Beach. How you feeling for this championship stretch?
Well, it's pretty hilarious that I'm leading the championship, but I don't imagine it'll be, for too much longer. But that's okay. I just I don't know if I'll ever be able to beat Oz. But I'll tell you what, and these guys probably they probably had faster laps in qualifying too. I did run a 10. I could run 10s, and I really didn't get a good lap. I was hoping to take pole, but I don't seem to be the fastest guy during the race, and so looking forward to the rest of the championship. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I just have some fun. Try to keep it clean, have some fun, race it up a bit. Have a good time.
There you go, brother. All right, well, again, Chops, points leader coming in, points leader going out, back-to-back third-place finishes. Congratulations, my man.
Yeah, thanks.
And there you go, Twitchland. Your podium finishers, Dossie, 3 in a row. Your pole sitter, Doge, taking home second. Chops in third. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Yep, thank you for hosting as usual.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, nice run, Dawes.